Hi guys, that Boeing story is getting weirder by the day. There have been so many incidents in the last few years and it's getting really weird and strange. So now a whistleblower has been found dead and shot. That is really weird. We will talk about this in this video, guys, so stay tuned. It's very revealing. Let's start. So we have to say that one of the most significant series of incidents with the Boeing airplanes started as early as 2018 with the crash of a Lion Air 737 MAX plane in Indonesia, which has resulted in the tragic loss of all 189 people on board. And this was then not enough. This was followed by another devastating crash in March 2019. So shortly after, when Ethiopian Airlines 737 MAX went down and killed all 157 people on board. These two crashes brought intense scrutiny to Boeing's flagship new plane, the 737 MAX, and that has led to a global grounding of that fleet of that series, and it led to investigations into the aircraft's design overall and the certification process. So the timeline of the events that surround this kind of airplane, the 737 MAX, is a crisis, and that provides insight into the actions taken by Boeing and aviation authorities in response to these incidents. So it includes steps such as the FAA's decision to ground the 737 MAX and Boeing's updates to the aircraft's software and the eventual lifting of the grounding order after extensive review and testing. But after the fleet was allowed to go up in the air again, that series of events and accidents did not stop. And just in the last few months, it has been significant. So let's talk about the incidents first, and then I tell you about that news that just came out about that whistleblower that has just testified against Boeing, so to speak. There were other events like, for example, I can't list all of them, but let's look into the more significant ones. In June 2022, Boeing 737 MAX again experienced an engine fire after landing in Newark, New Jersey. So the flight crew noticed a fire warning indication while taxiing, and that was leading to an engine shutdown and fire suppressant discharge. Maintenance crews later found a fuel leak along with soot and heat damage. And then shortly after, December 14th, 2022, a Denver-bound United Airlines flight made an emergency landing in Wichita, Kansas, due to an engine fire as well. Passengers reported hearing a rumbling sound, but no injuries, thankfully, were reported in that incident. So after that, Boeing asked airlines to inspect the 737 MAX jets for a potential loose bolt in the rudder control system after a routine maintenance check revealed a bolt with a missing nut. I mean, the rudder system, guys. And the FAA advised pilots to limit the use of the 737 MAX anti-ice system due to the risk of engine inlets overheating and potentially breaking away. So Boeing is seeking a safety waiver while developing a long-term fix. So this plane looks to me like sending out a car with only two wheels, one in the front and one in the back, or something like this, or without brakes. So would you still fly with that airplane? In my opinion and my personal feelings, I wouldn't. And if I had to fly, I'd really check the list, what airplane it is. And honestly, after all these incidents, and there's more that just happened recently, I'll get into this quickly, I don't want to be in any Boeing airplane anymore. That's just my personal feelings. I just do not trust them right now. You know, guys, if you're not new to my channel, and maybe if you're a subscriber to my channel, you probably have seen the video about the incident in January. That was almost a catastrophic incident for a Boeing 737 MAX 9 with Alaska Airlines, when in mid-flight part of the fuselage has blown off. So it seems that airlines can order different versions of that plane. So in some planes they can order an emergency door, and some airlines choose not to opt for that option, so they just keep the fuselage closed, but it seems they're just covering the hole. And so mid-flight, that cover or patch has blown out, and imagine the suction that comes with it. But thankfully no one was injured. But you know, then today's accident is like 50 people injured on a flight from Australia to New Zealand with a Chilean Airlines. So dozens of people have been injured by what officials describe as a strong movement of the plane while they were flying. So the Chilean Airlines LATAM has blamed the injuries on a technical event during the flight, which has caused that strong movements of the plane. And this is just the latest in a series of safety-related incidents to feature a Boeing airplane. So the passengers, when they did an emergency landing in Auckland, they were met by paramedics, and it was a Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner by LATAM Airlines, and it was not immediately clear what has caused that incident. So at the scene, they treated about 50 people right away, and then an ambulance was taking about 12 people to the hospital, and the ambulance said that at least one of these people is in critical and serious conditions. So, but you know, just a few days ago, on March 4th, an engine fire forced a Boeing 737 to make an emergency landing in Houston, Texas, shortly after takeoff. And it was a United Airlines flight, and they said the engine ingested some plastic bubble wrap that was on the airfield prior to departure. Well, yeah, so can you blame that on the plane? Probably not so much, but you know, it's always Boeing, it seems. And 2 days later, fumes in the cabin of a Boeing 737-800 have also forced the pilot to make an emergency landing in Portland, Oregon. And then last Thursday, a tire fell off a Boeing 777-200 after takeoff in San Francisco, destroying a car. So that plane was bound for Japan, but it was diverted to Los Angeles, where it thankfully landed safely. And then just a day later, a Boeing 737 MAX rolled off the runway in Houston and got stuck in grass. So what is happening? Why do we hear this only from Boeing? Is it like a maintenance issue? Is that the airline's fault? But airlines have other planes too. Then other planes would have an issue as well, not only the ones manufactured by Boeing. So this is really strange. And now let me come to what just has happened, which is adding a little bit more weirdness or suspicion to what is going on. Boeing whistleblower John Barnett was found dead only days after testifying against Boeing. He was 62 years old, and he has worked for Boeing for 3 decades and retired from work in 2017. So he raised concerns publicly and doubts about Boeing's production standards. And now he was found dead. That's the news of today. So the Charleston County Coroner's Office has told the news that John Barnett, 62, died from what appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound last Saturday. Isn't that weird, guys? He was cross-examined by Boeing's lawyers and his own attorney just days before he died. And Barnett was supposed to answer more questions on Saturday, but then he did not appear in court as planned. And then the BBC reported later that he was found dead in his truck, which was parked in a hotel parking garage. Barnett has worked as a quality control engineer for the company, so this tells me that he had access firsthand to the quality of that manufacturing of that plane. And he did this until 2017. So I think he had a pretty good picture of what was going on recently, and maybe also with the design of the new 737 MAX. So already in 2019, Barnett has told the BBC that Boeing would rush to get its 787 Dreamliner jets off the production line, compromising safety. Yeah, because they're in competition with other manufacturers. So it was important to get that out as quickly as possible. But how can you do that with an airplane? I mean, if there is a serious problem, you risk coming down and killing everyone, right? So this is really, I have no words for this. If this is all true, this should have serious consequences. So Barnett alleged that the emergency oxygen systems that were made for the 787 Dreamliners had a failure rate of 25%. So imagine 100 people on board and you need that, 25 will not have it. And this meant also that a quarter of 787 Dreamliners had the potential to rapidly lose oxygen if the cabins were suddenly decompressed, suffocating the passengers. So Barnett said that he had encountered these issues when he began working at Boeing's North Charleston plant in 2010. And he reportedly raised his concerns to his managers, but did not see them take any action. So the Federal Aviation Administration reviewed Boeing as early as in 2017 and has ordered the company to take action, which corroborated some of Barnett's allegations. And now, since Barnett was found dead, Boeing has made a statement and they told Fox Business that the company was saddened by Barnett's death. They said, "We are saddened by Mr. Barnett's passing and our thoughts are with his family and friends." That's what their statement read. So the South Carolina authorities are actively investigating the incident, and I really hope they get down to the root of this, because Barnett has raised concerns for such a long time, and this is only my opinion, guys. Would he really kill himself now that he can go to court and really validate his statements? So why would he do that? Of course, things come into your mind. Has he been threatened with something? Did he have no way out? I mean, he already went to court and testified, and now he was supposed to go again, and then he's found shot to death, allegedly killing himself. It raises a lot of questions in my head, and that's just my personal opinion. Something seems to be suspicious here, and it's very sad, and I hope we will learn more about this in the near future, guys. And I wouldn't be on the pulse with Silky if I didn't keep you updated about this. So if you're new here, hi guys, welcome. Please subscribe and leave this video a like. That would be absolutely awesome. Check out my channel. There's a lot about the Titan disaster, just recent updates about the volcanic eruptions in Iceland that have crippled a town and what's happening there, but also the super volcano in Italy, the Campi Flegrei. Just check out my channel. I report about recent news, the wildfire in Texas. I'd love to have you here, and I'd love to see you soon. So thank you very much for watching, guys. See you soon. I'm out of here. Bye.